As soon as I hit play, I'm fucking making this toast. So,
Are you the poor?
yeah, why don't you tell our two listeners, what's going on here?
Oh, there's views. I mean, I have some dank memes on these podcasts. I don't know if you've taken the time to watch them. They are pretty mint.
No, I was part of them. I don't.
That's one thing I wish you and Beard would do is actually watch my videos that I edit so that I can make them better. But most of the time I just wing them together anyway because I don't want to.
Dude, they're like 8 minutes every day. I don't have that kind of time.
This is true. Yeah, I take a lot of time to do the YouTube channel.
If you wanted me to watch one video a week and really critique it, I'll do that for you.
I don't think you understand how many views your AK video is getting.
It's a little upsetting.
It's appalling is what it is because we take so much time to work with sponsors. And, oh, God, hold on. Let's get some ASMR up in here.
This is me. This is opening peanut butter.
Honestly.
It sounds crazy in the microphone.
Honestly, why are people so weird that they like this content?
Because they read about it one time, and then they're like, oh, yeah. And then they think that now. Cool. The power of suggestion, folks.
Internet suggestion.
You just wait. You're going to get all of... What does ASMR stand for? Is that
Asexual something
No,
membrane.
There's no membrane. What's wrong with you?
Transvaginal mesh.
Transvaginal mesh. All right. Here we go. We're going to put some peanut butter onto... This is extra crunchy peanut butter onto some, like, billion grain toast wheat bread. If you get peanut butter on my microphone,
That was kind of the idea. This is the dumbest thing we've ever done. Of all the stupid shit we've done with guns, this is the dumbest thing.
Okay, it's not that loud, but the crunching will...
If you would shut the fuck up. This is so dumb. Oh, your jaw's popping. You filthy heathen. You have the TMJ, sir.
Thanks, transvaginal mesh.
Mike Papagilo sipping whiskey.
Oh my God! You should put these headphones on. This is so only one of us can hear the audio playback.
That would be Uncle Bugatti.
That's me, and I'm listening to all these wonderful sounds just right with you.
Oh my God.
I should have burned that toast a little longer.
Who was the brilliant motherfucker that said, I'm going to cook bread twice? Toast. Look up Haywood Banks. Yeah, toast. Everyone listening. He is one ugly, silly motherfucker.
Oh, I definitely know every single song by Haywood Banks. I was also 14.
Ohio, Iowa, Idaho, Hawaii Highway.
Big butter Jesus.
My wiper blaze.
Oh my God. What's the one about when you fall asleep, I'll get my revenge on you?
Don't remember that one.
And as you fall asleep, into your room I'll creep. Did something move in the dark neath your bed?
That's like one of his OG songs, like Weird Al Yankovic's Cows with Guns. Like, no one remembers that song.
This catalog I found sells roaches by the pound.
China.
And packets of indelible dye.
Do you remember when you could buy a pound of ladybugs in a box off Amazon?
What? No,
that was
it's a real thing.
That was a thing. I'm gonna look it up on my phone, see if it's still a thing. That was something that was a thing when we were in college. Like when the glitter bomb started being a thing, some maniacal bastard in his infinite wisdom, box of ladybugs, Amazon.
So you could like fuck somebody
Shop
over.
live ladybugs, Amazon, free 2-day shipping. 3,000 pre-fed live ladybugs, guaranteed live delivery. Targets aphids, moth eggs. $24. That's a thing.
If you send those to my house, I'll kill you.
I think that's worse than the glitter bomb. 1,500 live ladybugs, good bugs, ladybugs, guaranteed live delivery. $10.99, $7.25 shipping.
I think it's for people growing plants, like indoors, like weed. Like, hey, you could just release some ladybugs and get rid of aphids.
That's true. That is odd. I looked up that and I found the website Dicks by Mail. You can send gummy dicks to somebody. It's hilarious, and it has a little greeting card that says "Eat a bag of dicks."
Oh, that's wonderful,
They're like $20, and it's like 3 ounces of gummies, but it's worth it.
dude. I mean, marketing is unfortunately a couple $billion-dollar industry, probably in the trillions.
It's probably in the trillions. Let's be honest here. Well, I mean, look at Pepsi Cola. They make a garbage product.
Oh God, I hate Pepsi. I could go on a rant about that.
They spend $1 billion in marketing wank a year, and the company makes $1.5 billion a year. These are all made-up statistics, but you know what I mean.
Who's buying Pepsi?
Lots of people. Beard liked Pepsi. Yeah.
That's like his top choice. It's like, hey, before my last meal, I'd really like a Pepsi. What?
Coca-Cola is God.
I'm a Royal Crown fan myself. I'll live and die by the Crown.
No one even knows what that is.
RC baby.
RC Cola.
RC Cola. See, here's how it goes. Fountain RC
Here we go,
Cola.
boys and girls. This is the climax of this podcast. This is
Okay.
actually a very interesting topic for white people in rural America.
And anyone with diabetes. That goes across races.
This is true because diet soda sucks.
Hoya, hoya, check my glucose levels.
Well,
Okay,
that's a really sad story, but go on.
That's pretty sad, and I wouldn't anyway. So at the top of my list, I say
penny slot machines, penny slot machines.
stop. All right, RC Cola out of a fountain. All right, that's number one. Will always be number one.
Do you
as
have
long as
RC
it's
Cola
cold.
here?
No,
Oh, okay.
I have beer my dad brought to help me move in here.
That's some old beer.
It is old beer.
Mm.
I'm not drinking it.
Mm.
It's Miller Lite. I mean,
Miller Latte.
remember that beer that you had when you helped me move in?
This is a very refreshing beer.
It's still there. It's still in there.
Anyway,
All right, RC Cola out of a fountain. Next is Coca-Cola out of a can. Both these have to be exceptionally cold too, like almost frozen, but I don't want frozen chunks in it.
mm-hmm.
I like Coca-Cola out of a can because it has that kind of metallic taste, thanks to delicious aluminum. And
Delicious aluminum.
yeah, and then my third choice would be Coca-Cola out of a fountain, and the fourth choice would be probably RC out of a can, and then there's Faygo and all the off-brand shit, and then right at the fucking bottom is Pepsi.
Pepsi Cola. I can't even say that I know what RC Cola tastes like, so I can't put it on my scale. But number one is Fountain Coca-Cola from McDonald's, because there's something about their Coca-Cola that is just better. I don't know why. I mean, Fountain Coca-Cola is great, but something about their head, it mixes it different. I don't know why.
I don't know what's going on with that.
It's awesome.
I haven't drank soda in a while, so I'm just I'm preemptively puking thinking about drinking.
I drink one Mountain Dew a week, and it's not even one whole Mountain Dew. It's like a half of one, and I just pour the rest out. Anyway, before you go on your rant, I had the pleasure of going to a candy shop in bumfuck nowhere that had the original mixing head from like 1880 of Coca-Cola.
Whoa!
It was like cough syrup thick.
What?
There was next to no carbonation in it because, carbonation's expensive. So it was very flat, and there was a lot of syrup in it.
I watched someone on YouTube make the original recipe, but they used something to replace the cocaine leaves, which is bullshit. But
Well, they still use the cocaine leaves today.
they just have a super secret facility that extracts the fun part out.
It's not the coca leaf. It's just a leaf. It's an herb.
I could have sworn they used the coca leaf because it was bitter, not because of the cocaine aspect of it.
Right. It's the bitters.
So, But anyway, I mean, I would not say no to an end of days Coca-Cola filled with cocaine in it. I mean,
Yeah.
you get the caffeine, you get the sugar, you get the cocaine, you get a great 4 hours, and then your body recuperates.
But I would have to say fountain Coca-Cola, and then I really like bottled Coca-Cola. There's something about canned soda that I really like, but it just seems like it's flatter than a bottled soda, and I don't know why that is.
What, you literally are closing the lid every time you stop using it. Are you talking about glass bottle?
No, I'm just talking like when you first crack the thing. I don't know why that is, but I like the bottle and I like the can, and I couldn't even pick another cola after that. And then it's cherry Pepsi, vanilla Pepsi, cherry vanilla Pepsi, and then regular Pepsi after that. In any fashion, fountain, can, whatever.
I remember the first time I had a Mountain Dew Code Red, and I thought I saw
God.
angels singing.
I had a Mountain Dew Code Red, and I thought it was awful.
I have one now, and it tastes like cough syrup. I don't know where that disconnect came from.
When I was 14 or 15, when I started gaming, I loved the Live Wire, the orange one.
That's pretty good.
That was the bomb.com. And then Voltage came out when we were in college, and I distinctly remember eating my lunch with that, and it wasn't very good. The blue one was terrible. The white one was okay. But Mountain Dew, we share an opinion of Mountain Dew very similar in that no matter how cold you get it, you can get it 0.5 degrees from freezing. It's not cold enough.
There's a certain taste that is an aspect of how hot or cold a beverage or even a food is. And, I mean, if you have like a warm soda, like a Coke, you have a warm Coke, it tastes a certain way. You have a cold Coke, it tastes a certain way. And it goes across numerous sodas. But for some fucking reason, the Pepsi Corporation has a, like, neutrino derived solution that, like, in any conditions, I think they're trying to expand into Siberia. In any conditions, it tastes exactly the same. So you like, I just distinct because Diet Coke tastes cold, right? It's like it has that refreshing element to it.
I don't drink dried soda because I'm not a communist.
You done? Anyway, Diet Mountain Dew has a very certain cold taste to it, and I could never see myself exercising and be like, man, I'm tired. Let me have a soda to wash back all this.
Right.
It's like I feel like I'm countered.
A healthy lifestyle and soda just don't go together.
No, I don't know anyone that's in okay shape that just chugs soda.
It doesn't happen. There's just too much sugar.
Except maybe like peak athletes that are burning 8,000 calories a day. They're like, I have to.
At the end of a workout, most of them will either drink a soda or they'll have candy. That's kind of a big recoup thing because your glycogen levels are so low, your body just needs something.
But yeah, everyone I see that like is a soda aficionado is just giant.
Or like the world's strongest men or powerlifters, they'll eat honey during lifts.
That makes sense. But even still, like, that's... Then people give their kids, like, oh, let's start the day with a glass of orange juice. Like, why don't you just carbonate it and give them soda then?
It's the same thing. Well, that's one interesting thing that I've been kind of messing around with now that I've got off my keto kick and lost, 30 pounds. I'm trying to reintroduce carbs into my diet, and I started with honey on my pancakes, which is not as good as I thought it'd be, unfortunately.
This sucks.
But pancakes are pretty freaking bland without syrup, let me tell you.
Yeah, I bought, there's like this prepackaged paleo pancake mix that, whatever. And honestly, it's pretty good. I like it. But I would eat that with butter on it to like adhere to keto, whatever. And just got fucking old.
Yep.
But a little bit of, I used to have maple syrup somewhere, and a little bit of maple syrup made it just like I was happy to wake up for once.
Well, that's one weird thing with me is I have, during the cold season, like as soon as the second week of October hits and like the first frost is coming up, my sweet tooth just skyrockets. Like my German body's like, it is time to get ready for winter. We must put on the pounds.
Don't chase me, I'm full of chocolate.
Do not chase me, I'm full of chocolate.
Exactly. All right, Wilhelm. No, but I don't know. I've been on a new diet, and all I can say is that I have been exceptionally gassy, which is, I mean,
that is the one weird thing about going to a high protein, low sugar, and just a moderate fat diet is you do not understand how much gas you can pass.
oh yeah, it's like it's incredible. It really is. Like I remember at work I was walking. I was sitting down for a little while and I stood up and started walking and I farted in between like 5 steps. It was amazing.
Well, that's one thing I learned why you have such bad gas when you like drink whey protein is one of the byproducts of your body breaking down protein is methane. And the reason why you shouldn't eat so much protein like bodybuilders is you could just become the Hindenburg.
Well, I mean, not my problem, but no, the lots of gas, and it's funny to fart around coworkers. It really makes my. I mean, I'm on second shift. You get to just gross out coworkers all the time, and there's no repercussions for it because there's like 2 other witnesses. So and they think it's funny too, till they get caught in the crossfire. Till the winds of time change.
Dust wind, dude. No, nutrition is odd because I think a lot of that is your gut biome trying to change over to something that's not dog shit, so it's very confused.
I mean, I think I can't remember the exact whole like statistics of your weight and how much of it is bacteria.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of gut bacteria that has a direct link to your brain, and it's a really weird because you're not like an organism. You're not like, oh, you're a human,
right?
And that you're separated from. No, there's things living inside of you that they don't control you, but it's a symbiosis. We're lichen basically, except we know how to nuke Japan instead of just grow on supposedly the north side of trees.
Right.
But no, that they do. I mean, it makes sense. You eat a certain kind of food, you're feeding a certain kind of bacteria, and they send positive signals in the form of whatever. They break down that food giving you energy, which is somehow linked to emotions, which are kind of gay, but it's like I just don't understand how like 7 or 8 months ago I was smoking cigarettes and eating like shit and not exercising, and like man, I wonder why I felt bad all the fucking time.
Just doesn't occur to you.
Now it's like I'll either be tired or my heart will be beating too much because I drank too much coffee, and that's probably the worst I feel, or getting choked out.
Jiu-jitsu can be rough.
Yeah.
No, that's one thing. When I started this diet a year ago, I was 240 some odd pounds,
fat lard,
and my blood pressure was 135 over 90, and I was just like, okay, something has to change. I need to stop putting in 11-hour days at work. I need to start exercising, and I need to eat right. So what I started doing was I went really hard at the gym and royally fucked one of my joints, which I actually came back from an MRI conclusion today, which wasn't great. But basically what I did was I started working out an hour to an hour and a half a day, 3 to 5 days a week, weight training mixed with cardiovascular training, and I ate nothing but steak and eggs and chicken.
Steak and eggs and eggs and steak. That's what you'll eat
for breakfast. Delicious.
Delicious.
The occasional pizza, like maybe once a week, but no carbs. Didn't eat rice. Didn't eat noodles. Definitely not noodles. I didn't eat any carbohydrates, and within a 6 to 8 month period, I lost probably 30 pounds, and then the next 2 months I lost another 5.
I got this job, and I was on the road so much that I just never had any damn time to sit down and make food. And so I was just, and you get per diem, you're like, oh fuck, I'll get whatever I want and pocket the rest. And that literally incentivizes you to go get the cheapest, shittiest food.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're like, well, I don't do anything, And so I started doing jiu-jitsu at that last job. And this job, Now it's like everything's so structured. It's really still throwing me off.
That you actually have a life that you can structure.
Like, I can plan more than like a couple hours in advance for something and make plans with my fucking myself, you know? I mean, obviously I need to clean here, but it's not like, but that, I mean, that's kind of on the back burner to me, like getting in shape right now. I mean, I'm doing laundry because jujitsu is Brazilian for doing laundry every fucking day.
My gi is never clean.
Oh no, I have 2 gis and I only really wear one, but I should have bleached it anyway. And it's but switching entirely, and I didn't really like really jump into trying to get healthy till like maybe month or 2 ago, when I was like, hey, you know, I'm actually starting to lose weight. I just lost weight because I started jiu-jitsu pretty quickly once I changed jobs. That's pretty good cardio. Or I don't really know if that'd be. It's
endurance.
It is endurance.
I'd consider cardio.
I mean, your heart rate's through the roof, so
it's cyclical cardio instead
Yeah.
of just straight whatever.
yeah. But then I bought some running shoes and was like, oh, I'm gonna start running, and then
I want to destroy my joints.
yeah, exactly. Then now, I mean, I work out 5 or 6 days a week, and it's cool because I'm eating a calorie deficit diet, and it has a lot of good nutrients in it. I'm not lacking anything. I think the only thing I'd be lacking is water intake. I really need to like watch what I'm doing, but it's coming along. It's coming along pretty good. I'm watching weight just come off consistently. I calculated what I would need to lose, like metabolic rate minus whatever it would take for me to lose a pound a week, and then I don't factor in any exercise. So, you know, you put the cardio of and endurance of jiu-jitsu along with some heavy strength training, unless dickweeds are holding the squat rack hostage. And
Old people.
They weren't old.
They weren't?
They were doing quarter squats though. So I watched a guy put fucking 3 plates on each side and get up there and barely do a squat.
Ass to calves, bitch.
Ass to grass, bitch. Yeah, I go all the.
I'm not that flexible.
I can't do that either, and I try. I get bent a lot. I would say I don't feel like amazing. Everyone's like, oh, I'm in such great shape. I feel amazing. I don't think I'm there yet. I think I got a little bit longer to.
I think those people are lying.
I mean, I think that they feel good maybe in comparison to someone who's. I mean, take it like I stopped drinking too, which just sucks. But, like, if I were to get drunk, like shit faced tonight, and then woke up tomorrow, I would notice. Yeah. I'd be like, holy shit, I notice a difference now. Whereas, I mean, just on a day to day, that's what's weird about not drinking, dude. Is like, and you don't really ever get drunk though. Maybe a little bit, but not like I did. And
I've only been drunk like 6 or 7 times in my life.
Exactly. So like
I blacked out twice.
Like you like catch a buzz, but you don't ever like get like where you wake up next day and you're like, what the fuck just happened?
Nah, that's only happened to me twice, and once was by mistake.
So yeah,
those Irish car bombs just kept climbing in me.
Those specialty drinks like Long Island iced teas. Like, oh, we put
all of the white alcohol in this.
Yeah, and then I don't know what bartenders do. It's alchemy to me. They take something that's literally poison and they make it taste like cherries. like
I was actually having a conversation today at work about alcohol, which rarely happens. We were talking about breakfast shots, the pancake shot. You ever had that?
I haven't had it, but I've heard everyone and their fucking brother talking about it.
I was skeptical because it's half a shot of Jameson, half a shot of butterscotch liquor in the same shot glass. You down it and immediately start drinking orange juice. It's like flapjacks in your mouth.
Really?
I was like, it's orange juice. That can't be a thing. And then you do it and you're like, wow, this is fucking alchemy.
Wow, that's
Yeah, I know. I was confused. Still am.
there's a couple good combinations of like. I mean, I like just straight tequila.
Oh my
like-
god. We can't be friends
Why?
because tequila tastes like taint.
I'm a taint man.
Yeah, you are.
That woman has a nice taint, if you know what I'm saying. I actually
Delicious.
don't know what you're saying. Could you please expand on that? No, I don't know. It's really weird because, like, I've heard someone say that when they quit drinking, like, every morning's awesome, every night sucks. And I mean, I couldn't agree more. Going to the gym, I literally wake up, make food for the day, leave, work out, shower, go to work, come home, and immediately go to bed. And it's like, it's so cyclic that, like, I wake up, it's like, oh, fuck, it's Monday. And then I blink, and it's like 3 weeks later.
That is one odd thing that I would agree with. One great thing about working out is something that Joe Rogan talks about on his podcast all the time is I don't feel like punching anyone anymore. When I start working out regularly, I get that combative nature out of my brain, and it's just like, wow, I feel elated to be alive.
That's a good point to make. I guess I wouldn't. I'm not an
I
angry
still scream in
person.
traffic, but that's a different story.
No, that's no one's a saint.
That's never going away. I say cunt a lot in the car.
I flip a lot of people off, and you know what? If they pulled over, I would keep driving because I'm not petty. That's what's nice to know is like I'm in control. Like, and the stronger or the more aggressive or more violent you can become, and have that control, it makes everything just a breeze.
Yeah,
You're
because
like-
you just laugh it off. Like, haha, you're an idiot.
Like
People who, every time I drive during the weekend, I have a 2.5-hour drive to get to the range, and there's always some dickhead in a half-ton pickup on the interstate that I'm driving totally not 80 miles an hour in the left lane. Pass them. Their ego immediately kicks in. They have to catch up to me. So I go, all right, I'm going to let you go in front of me because I don't need an altercation to lose my life on interstate, whatever. Get behind them, and then they slow down. And it's like, okay, can you calculate this in your peanut brain? The factor of safety that you are risking here, the fact that your ego is so fragile that you have to compete with someone you don't even know and you'll never see again. Just because you're bored. That's essentially what it is. You have all this combative nature in your brain that you just have to get out because we're animals and animals like to be combative. And it's like, just let it go. You laugh it off, like, haha, look at that dickhead going fast, and then it's over. That's when I work out, I have that, look at that dickhead, and then it's over.
Yeah. I mean, I completely agree. I think
Like the people who think they're a good Samaritan for, there's a line of cars in the right lane, they see someone come up real fast in left lane, they just signal out and go 71 miles an hour instead of 70, and like, ooh, I'm Batman. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
let me go slightly faster in left lane. I could get angry thinking about traffic. like you ever watched the Iceman tapes? That like he's a mob killer, killed like 200 people.
I saw the movie The Iceman. It's pretty neat.
Apparently, the movie just completely fucked up the whole story.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, Hollywood sucks.
They made it seem like he only killed like bad people and didn't really he was in a situation where it's all he could do, and the mob kind of cornered him. When in real life, he was just a fucking crazy sociopath or psychopath, really.
Just murdered everyone.
And loved murdering, and would end up murdering pretty much anyone and everyone he loved. So
neat.
Every friend he ever had, he'd fucking end up killing. But
cool.
But there's like, if you watch these interviews with him, he'll like snap and just get infuriated. That's me fucking driving. Like I'm fine, and then some switch is turned off, and then there's just like red. But there's something I truly believe with natural humans, and how violent life was until like
200
70
years ago.
Yeah, and that's.
I mean, it was still pretty violent around the turn of the century. Don't get me wrong, but we went from having wars all the time in the 16 and 1700s to having a war like every decade in the 1800s to having a war every 40 years.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
except for the Middle East because they're fucked.
Yeah, but it's they lived a completely different life, and you listen to people like going on the Oregon Trail or something, and the things that they were out. That was before we owned the land between California.
Right.
It's like that was not part of the country.
Right.
That was just
It was the frontier.
unclaimed land.
Yeah.
It's like the UCFS of fucking land before we bought Louisiana from the French. Suck it. French.
The French.
The French.
The French dressing.
We could sell French and ranch combined and call it French, and people would fucking buy it.
We would make tens of dollars.
If years from now and be on a yacht just laughing as I wipe my tears of joy away with $100 bills and strippers, and you'll be in a cave somewhere just being like, damn, that was a really good idea. It took you 10 years to get over the fact that I made $1 billion
on a product called French.
that was already made. I just mixed it together.
Like the Heinz making the fancy ketchup a thing. They made mayonnaise and ketchup a thing.
What?
They make bottled mayonnaise and ketchup in the same bottle. Like the fancy sauce from Step Brothers.
Fuck you.
That's a thing.
That's like the PB&J in the same can that my mom would never buy.
Oh my god, that is so much marketing wank.
I probably, if you would have given me a weapon and said, kill your sibling for peanut butter and jelly in the same jar, I would have seriously considered it.
Jesus Christ.
And Mom was like, no. And then, you know what? I've never had it. I'm okay. I mean,
That says a lot about the human psyche, though, is just how marketing wank affects children and how you just grow up with it. And now your whole life is just impulse buys off marketing wank.
well, that's like that whole YouTube shit that went down where they would make these just weird videos that were directed at kids, like super, and it'd have like Spider-Man and Elsa
And then just murder.
and yeah, all this really weird, like sexualized. If you watch, you can look it up and watch them. They're freaky and weird videos, and they got like millions of views, just incredibly, and they were making tons of ad because people like selling to kids is a huge fucking market, and that makes me. I mean, the libertarian in me says, "Fuck everything, sell it, whatever." But then part of me is like, that can't be good.
No.
It can't be good. Like.
Your programming is what it is. It's social programming.
And it's hacking the brain of just the generic human. Like what do kids like? What do little boys like? Fucking guns and violence and throwing shit and
Trucks. Heavy equipment, helicopters, Apaches. Yeah.
M240 Bravos.
It is very strange what people they're just willing to sell their morality to make a few dollars.
I would love to hear the head games that people play to sell that shit. I mean, like we make aircraft parts and barely any for like even the military sector, which I mean, you could make a really roundabout argument like, why would you work for an industry that supports, like, okay, you name me an industry that's anything competitive in any market that isn't somehow supporting the military industrial complex or Saudi Arabia or China, and then come back to me, because you could go all the way around, but everything is connected.
Yeah.
But
much like the conversation we just had about nutrition and working out and being connected with your social anxieties and whatnot. Everything is connected. Illuminati confirmed.
Everything matters except for art degrees.
That honestly, there's no argument against that. Art degrees are useless. If you're good at art, you don't need a degree. That's why it's art.
My grandma got an art degree in '63 from, I think, it was in Milwaukee. I think it was University of Milwaukee.
In '63.
In '63, and I think it was. Now they were. I think that they at the time were like on the cusp of that really radical. I mean, it's art school, so they were probably radical in 1820. But she told me, it was, you could get hired. Like you would be like shown how to do art in a way that you could, do advertisements and do, like, oh, this is this style. But she also said that a lot of it was, oh, if you want to paint a really like realistic picture of something, why don't you just take why don't you be a photographer? Fuck you. This isn't what this is like.
Right.
It was 63, and I think she said, she's like, none of my friends smoked pot, but like LSD was just everywhere.
Wow.
She never did it, but like it's a weird concept because.
That is very strange.
But anyway, like it used to be like, oh,
Now
I'm gonna
everyone and their sister is a friggin' photographer.
Don't
Blech.
fucking photographers. See, my brother is a photographer, and he's damn good at it, and he like knows all of the terminology, and this is how light affects this and this and this, and wide angle, and it's in 4K, so we'll just zoom in later, and it's in all the like technical things, and then like all I see is like, oh, I bought a DSLR and put sepia on it.
Oh God, I there's some clerk at a local sporting goods shop, just a kid our age, and he showed me this fucking picture on his iPhone of a smoke bomb behind him and him walking away like a badass that looked like someone made it just for a meme, like it was like a low quality meme, like intentionally bad, and he was so proud of his work. I about looked at him, and I probably looked at him like he had a dildo growing out his forehead for about 5 seconds, and then I was like, yeah, man, that's cool, and then promptly got out of there.
Jeez,
the bar is just, for some people, set so low.
Well, the technology is very advanced, and I think it gives people, in every realm, it gives people the false sense of, like, oh, I know all this stuff. Like, you don't really, like, you take your phone away, and your access to infinite amount of knowledge, or you take technology of any sorts away from some people, and it's like, there's no talent there. You just
Right.
you know how to use the software. You know
You have a crutch that you can lean on when you need it.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no problem with being resourceful, but when you just regurgitate, that's one thing. That's bar talk. There's no intellects in the bar, but you'll hear everyone talking because they know how to regurgitate shit that they heard, i.e., marketing wank. People know the selling points of a Canon camera. They can name the rap sheet that they read twice, all the spec sheets. That doesn't mean you understand what you're talking about. You can regurgitate information. You're a shitty dictionary.
And
Dictionaries honestly are not that useful without application.
Well,
A thesaurus, however,
they're not useful when people are changing shit just all willy-nilly.
right?
I hate how they add words in every year, and they're always the gayest words. Like,
Right.
what I think we're fine, okay? Because I get that, if you listen to Old English and like, the common man probably changed everything
Right.
from the vernacular that they used. and
Verily.
slang. Verily. But it's, who knows? Who knows? Like, I think art is, everyone says that all the media online is oversaturated. You're like, oh, I want to start a channel on making cages for ants. I've seen it. It's already oversaturated.
I beg your pardon, sir.
Dude, I watch this guy's channel, and he makes it would be a terrarium. He makes terrariums for ants,
Uh-huh.
and they are the most freaking fascinating and cool things to watch. It's incredible. Like, the things cover his whole house. It's like 100,000 ants, like fire ants. He's just praying to God they don't get out. Like, I'm gonna go to bed. Nobody wake me up with, or like the bullet ant, where their bite is so painful that.
Oh yeah, that.
Did you see that?
They wove it into a glove to make sure that boys became men in an Amazon tribe.
Did you see that one where that guy did it?
Mm-mm.
So they have, I don't know, I think it was Idiots Abroad, and they're like, oh, we're gonna do this ceremony with these boys.
I love Carl Pilkington.
And so one of them put their hands in, they literally look like oven mitts, and they put the ants' heads inside, and you hold your hands. So the kids had to hold their hands in there for 10 minutes, and this guy had his hands in there for 30 seconds, and then they do this dance while they're just writhing in pain.
Right.
They do this dance, and he said that he was in excruciating pain for 12 hours, just uncontrollable, excruciating pain for 12 hours, and it's like, yeah, we're pretty weak. We're a pretty weak society. You know, we're a soft meat bag.
Right.
One wrong, you know, you break too soon, or the guy in front of you breaks too soon. You don't see it. You're fucking dead. Like, I think people are relying too much on
Merriam-Webster
technology.
looks like a fucking clickbait website now with ads on it. I'm very upset.
Oh my god.
So let's just pull up some from new words to the dictionary for 2019. Deep state.
Hell yeah.
Alex Jones.
Fuck yeah.
Alleged secret government network operating extra legally. It may feel as though the term has been around since the time when men wore fedoras in Washington, but current evidence dates it only to the dawn of the current century. Red flag law. Delicious. A law allowing courts to prevent people who show signs of being in danger to themselves or others from having access to firearms. It has only been in use since 2015, and the synonym extreme risk law dates 2017.
What a weird, very specific 2 words. Phrases. These are phrases, though. Deep state is not one word, is it?
No, it's 2 words. Obviously, red flag law.
God, I want to have dinner with Alex Jones just once.
Yes. New abbreviations and what the hell is that word?
Portmanteaus.
Portmanteau.
Portmanteaus.
Playfulness is always a part of language, and some of the informal words in this batch include inventive, truncations, recombinations, and portmanteaus.
It's a lot of big words for a bunch of stupid retard words that are going to follow it.
Vacay, shortening of the word vacation.
Fuck you.
Sesh, shortening of session.
Fuck you.
Inspo, shortening of inspiration.
Oh, God.
Oh, vomit.
No.
Oh, my monocle fell off my face on that one, Mr. Bugatti. Fabulosity.
Kill me now.
Fabulous quality, state, or nature. That is a hood term. I've never heard that one before.
No, that's a gay thing.
Tomato, potato. Fatberg. A large mass of fat and solid waste that collects in a sewer system. That's kind of funny. That's kind of funny.
When is that relevant?
Sanitation workers. A solopreneur, a solo entrepreneur. That's disgusting.
You're still an individual can be an entrepreneur, and most often are.
Yeah, that is the oh God.
Like, entrepreneur is a singular. Like, I would say entrepreneurs if there was more than one.
New words from games and sports. Pickleball. We played pickleball
That's not
in
a
middle
word.
school.
That's.
A newly popular court-played sport.
Have you seen the van around here that is advertising pickleball?
No.
There's a van around. Oh no, that was.
Did you see my post from New Zealand that they played netball?
I didn't care to look into it. I was like, netball. Okay, what the fuck's
It's really popular in New Zealand, and it's a woman's sport, I guess.
What's that noise?
The tumbler.
Okay, I'm glad it's upstairs.
It must have gotten off balance. Escape room. A game in which participants can find room, or everyone knows what an escape room is. Free solo. Solo climbing. Okay, interesting. New words about race and identity.
Who is adding all these? I want to know who is like thoroughly checking words and deciding on this. Because
I don't know. This is Merriam-Webster, and I'm very upset at them. I'm extra triggered. They expanded to include this sense. Used to refer to a single person whose gender identity is non-binary. So aliens. We're now referring to aliens.
I mean, I wouldn't jump as far to aliens. I'm just saying I think it's important to be able to identify singular or the plural. And there's like one very, very specific legal use of the word they to refer to one individual, because they're talking in like such past tense, weird, like they're always referring to people as parties,
right?
Like that party, and there's just one, and who Why? Who came up with this shit? Who in their right mind was just like, I don't like he or she, so let's.
It's an expansion of a use that is sometimes called the singular they, and one that has a long history in English, apparently, according to this wonderful Merriam-Webster website that I don't find credible anymore. When a reflexive pronoun corresponding to a singular use of they is needed, themself is seeing increasing use. Inclusive. A new sense has been added, allowing and accommodating people who have historically been excluded as because of the race, gender, sexuality, or ability.
So everything that ever happened in history, except not even that, just the things that, like, what, I'm Italian and you're German, so you roped us into World War II, so you owe me, like, what, some Spätzle or something?
I will give you a gold shilling.
Gold shilling? Okay, I'll write that down.
Colorism. Prejudice or discrimination, especially within a racial or ethnic group, favoring people with lighter skin over those with darker skin. We are making words over melanin now.
Well, we've always done that because for some reason it's important. But, what? Like, lighter skinned ones are better. Like, for what? Like, standing out in a crowd of darker ones? Like, what? Like, oh yeah, my house. Like, oh, your house is painted blue and mine's painted red. Cool. Like, move on. What? Why is it? Why is it always about race? It's so funny. I don't give a shit.
Well, this is actually funny because I was thinking about this today because when I went to one of the shooting events, I met a fan, which, funny enough, was the queen of the token when it comes to shooting events. It was a black female.
Oh my God.
And she was like, dude, I know your stuff. You're a YouTuber. I was like, dude, no way. That was my exact, I was like, dude, no way. You know who I am?
Dude, no way.
And she took a picture and she's like, you need to get more colored folk in your stuff. And she said it in the snappy, black, sassy woman voice. So I know she was kind of kidding because context clues and I don't get triggered by that sort of thing. But, of course, reverse racism isn't a thing, so I wouldn't be able to get triggered anyway, right? That was sarcasm. Anyway.
There's a lot going on with that. There was a big sandwich to take it. That was like a what was that fucker that always ate big giant sandwiches? It's a cartoon like in the
Garfield?
That was lasagna.
I'm sure he had a sandwich.
Dagwood's like he just made a Dagwood sandwich of shit, and I processed like everything except like the most of it.
Anyway, and I just looked at her. I looked into the windows of her soul, and I said, you know how hard it is to find black folk in rural America? And we both had a wonderful laugh because we understand the statistics. It was great. I had a bonding experience with one of my viewers, and I loved it. The fact that she was a she and black had nothing to do with it. And then the same day, I met 2 Indian dudes from the East Coast that had seen my videos. And you know what? We also had a similar bonding experience. Color and race are irrelevant in America. You know why? Because fuck you. This is America.
That's what, when everyone's always like nationalism is racism, it's like maybe if we were like in an
nation
state,
of nation of ethno.
but we're like literally America is defined on the melting pot, and you know,
and has been for over 100 years.
And no one's perfect. Obviously, we did some shitty things to the Native Americans, but
I mean, it was a war. It really wasn't
also,
that shitty.
yeah, I mean,
but
like,
yeah, the Trail of Tears was kind of shitty, but that was just a lack of communication and ignorant soldiers being ignorant soldiers.
But we can't like we took down the Hopi Indians who took down someone else and then go back fucking
hundreds and thousands of years.
Like who like yeah, everyone is pretty shitty to each other. I think you can just step back and be like,
I mean, let's be honest, the Native Americans didn't even have a word for wheel.
Yeah, I mean,
they deserve to be conquered. If we're making a claim for anything. Same with Africa, but we won't go there. Anyway, yeah, in the United States, where the playing field is being more and more leveled with stupid laws, there really is there's nothing to complain about other than the own facsimile you've made for yourself. It's it is just stupid to blame someone for race, color, gender, because and I mean, especially with you're just making up genders anyway. I mean, it's all irrelevant to you, so why should it be relevant to me? I mean, you can be transracial now, so who gives a shit?
I'm just really tired of people saying, "Oh, I'm discriminated against, so I need it easier, but I deserve this position, and I'm just as good as everyone else." Like, okay, if you're just as good as everyone else, then you didn't need assistance to get where you are. You know what I'm saying?
You did need extra adjectives to add to your noun.
Like, I'm pissed off. I'm just pissed off about paying taxes, right? So if I have to pay taxes, at least be consistent and don't fucking yell at me. Like, I go 5 miles over the speed limit. I really don't. I'm not wild anymore. Okay, I just want less money, all of my money to myself.
Yep.
And I want to be treated fairly, and I think that's what anyone else wants. And I think when you
everyone wants to be treated as they would treat somebody else, despite the fact that there's so many people treating other people shittily.
Have you ever started an argument with someone online, and then both of you kind of like backstep and were like, "This is stupid," and then you said something nice, and then like you walk away and you're like, "This is what the fuck? This is what the internet's for."
That's never happened to me except for once in a YouTube video when we were both wrong, and then I Googled it and I sent the link to the Google. I was like, "Hey, dude, we're both wrong." Like, "Oh, this is weird. This never happens on the internet. We found common ground." I was like, "Hey, good on you, bro."
Oh, I know. I told some lady, I was like, or I said something, she said something, and I responded, and then she responded, and then she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't really mean it to sound like that, and this is what I actually kind of meant," and kind of expanded on it. I was like, you know what? Have a great fucking day.
That never happens on the internet, dude.
Dude, it happened once.
Yeah, it happened once with me in a YouTube comment. Mike Papa Kilo YouTube channel.
Mike Papa Kilo. They're probably watching on here.
Ne-
Mike Papa Kilo.
We are dying to make a shitty garage band.
Well, there's so many good. There's what?
Mesothelioma.
Mesothelioma. Breathing in.
Transvaginal mesh.
Asbestos. Breathing it in. Gonna get my diabetes check again.
People who are listening to this, who are still here for whatever reason, have no idea what we're talking about. New words from pop culture. Bechdel test.
Fuck you. No way.
Refers to a set of criteria used to evaluate a movie or other work of fiction on a basis of its inclusion and representation of female characters. BECHDEL test.
Spell that slower. I missed it.
BECHDEL test. Bechdel. That's stupid.
Bet you don't have any women in that movie.
Ayo. Wait. Stinger. The name for short scene that appears during or after the closing credits of a movie. I've never heard that phrase before. But that's obviously referring to fucking Marvel garbage.
Oh, you mean like the bonus footage? Stinger? That sucks.
That was a really good movie in the 60s, I think. The Sting. The Sting. It was The Sting. Coulrophobia, meaning abnormal fear of clowns. Although Hollywood releases and dictionary updates are not coordinated, even for publicity purposes, this entry hits your screens within weeks of the premiere of both It Chapter 2 and Joker. I heard Joker's a really good movie.
I saw it. He was such a good actor, but it was an extremely disturbing movie. Like I was like unsettled the whole time. I was like, this is fucking weird and awful. That's what it's supposed. It's what it's supposed to do. So
I saw his interview with one of the shitty late night hosts, and it was everything I expected it to be because late night hosts now are just leftist turds, and he was just asking some really personal questions, and obviously celebrities just want to spill their guts because they want people to think they're actually human when they're really just crazy sociopaths. And what's his
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix was just not having any of it. He's like, that's private. Why are we talking about this?
Joaquin Phoenix seems like a decent human being, but I know he's in Hollywood, so I just can't trust him.
Yeah, right.
I will say I'm not scared of clowns at all. If I saw someone dressed up as a clown outside of the 10-day window from Halloween, I would not trust that fucker.
True.
Just saying. I mean,
here's some real hard-hitting ones from the window lickers in business and finance. Pain point. A persistent or recurring problem. as with a product or service that frequently inconveniences or annoys customers.
Oh my God.
Pain point.
This is like that list of buzzwords that I go through to write up on the break room wall when we have meetings.
Yeah.
And I just like there was synergy, low hanging fruit,
This just
vertical integration.
leads back to people who think they're photographers and know how to talk about main points of their shitty camera that they bought on eBay. Just because you know acronyms doesn't mean you're smart. Just because you know things doesn't mean you're smart. Until you apply said things, you are not smart.
I mean,
Okay, here's a really good one. You ready?
I'm not ready to be this
Are
angry.
you preparing your taint? Haircut. A new sense was added, meaning a reduction in the value of an asset. Getting a little cut off the top. I made that up. That's not in there, but because haircuts.
So you're saying
Taking a little off
a
the top.
colloquialism is now getting into let's like
A new sense was added, is what they're saying.
you could like, oh, we're losing a little business or we're trying to downsize. There's so many things. There's so many other.
We're getting a haircut.
That's not a simile. That's a metaphor. That'd be a metaphor for losing business. Oh, we're getting a little haircut. Oh, we're losing a little business.
I wouldn't even consider it a metaphor. I just consider it synonymous in only
So
the shittiest of ways.
This is like when someone writes a joke and someone says, "Oh, they stole that joke from me," but there's so many people out there all living eerily similar lives in different situations, and they each come up with the joke like independently of one another, and because it's just like bound to happen kind of thing. Like, this has already happened before. Why is it going to Webster's Dictionary? This is stupid. I want to sue somebody. That's not what I would add to the dictionary. I would add things like, I don't know. I wouldn't add anything.
Yeah, the English dictionary is odd. I mean, just like spelling bees is kind of an odd thing to the rest of the world because, phonetics exist in the rest of the world.
Bunch of taint sniffers, if you ask me. Professionals.
The other thing about this website is if I want to go to a different month, there's not a fucking list. Just advertisements for days. Spoonerism.
Jeez. Read it off.
Transportation of initial sounds of words. Spoonerism is actually a gamer that I used to watch back in the day. He and the I think the Creature Hub maybe, and then I watched you ever watch Gassy Mexican or
no, but I could get a racist mustache and hat and be one right now.
Mr. Sark, Hutch, or Sea Nanners.
You're asking me if not only have I never played Call of Duty more than like 5 hours total in my life, I don't watch people play it.
It was something I used to watch him when I wanted to get good at Modern Warfare 2 back when I gamed.
Gamed hard, bro. I used to throw sticks at my brother. And then
this website is so bad I can't find lists from the other months because it's that poorly organized.
And then one time I had a hockey stick and he chased me up the slide, and to get away from him throwing sticks at me, I slid down the slide, and the broken hockey stick almost impaled my eye and hit my eyebrow instead. And I broke my glasses, and I was so upset that I broke my glasses, and I was in shock of what happened. I didn't have any pain. So I ran into my mom and told her I broke my glasses. And then she was like, "What do you mean you broke your glasses?" And whipped around. There's just blood covering my face. And she just freaks out, takes me to the hospital.
Nice.
So that's the fun that we had while you were learning how to press X a little faster.
I was very good at pressing the RT very fast because bullets.
Bullets. It'd be cool to get.
I'm manually Googling August of 2019 so that this will come up. Oh, my God.
Oh, and Webster?
Merriam-Webster is just trash.
You know what would be really cool? Let's make a gaming controller that has a legitimate clock trigger for the trigger on it.
Dude, that would be the worst trigger on any gaming controller ever.
Then people can really feel the struggle.
All right, so this is mentalfloss.com, so I already know it's going to be trash. Boogie, short for bourgeois.
Oh,
bougie.
It's bougie.
Bougie.
Fuck. I know people that use that phrase. I really hate it.
That is also a lot of ghetto people use that.
I don't think. I think.
And
Okay.
stupid college students, which the mental capacity is similar, but I digress. TLDR abbreviation.
Too long.
Didn't read. That's in the dictionary now. You're shitting me.
Well, people. The problem is like it used to be a forum thing, and like especially on Reddit, it was on there a lot. But I swear to God,
Speaking of a gaggle of fags, Reddit,
a parliament of retards,
a congress of douchebags.
faggots. They no, but the problem is there's obviously a culture.
A school of zombies.
Yes.
Squad.
There's obviously a certain like not personality. There's a
really like a gaggle of fags.
gaggle of fags.
That's our band name.
Gaggle of fags.
Gaggle of fags.
Can we do this in real life? You have to learn how to play an instrument.
I can
Spoons.
I can play a mean triangle.
Oh, dude, you can play the spoons, triangle, and the harpsichord.
I want to learn how to play the hurdy-gurdy.
I thought that I used to think that was super easy, and then I watched someone play it, and I was like, oh, never mind.
Not even close.
Isn't that a wheel-driven? Okay. Anyway, there's a certain culture online of any forums, and they're very much shaped by who stays around the longest. And then
The monster turd that won't get flushed.
what Reddit has turned into is a constant, much like a bingo ball dispenser, a recycling of the same inside jokes and verbiage and acronyms.
It's like Tumblr, but less porn.
No. You're in the wrong part of Reddit.
I was trying to make a name for the Mike Papaquilo YouTube channel on the gun section, and everyone and their brother was just a total fag. Like, all they wanted to do is they posted pictures of their quote-unquote custom AR builds that I know for a fact they did not put on a mill, so it really wasn't that cool. And it was like, wow, I've seen this build before, I've seen this build before, I've seen this build before. And then they would put up like a Makarov every once in a while. I was like, oh, cool, military surplus. And they were all just stroking each other's egos. And as soon as I put a video up, man, you don't have any idea what you're doing. I've shot tens of thousands of rounds. I was a SOCOM, SEAL, turd burglar, airborne, whatever.
The elusive turd burglar. They can grow their beards out.
But it was a gaggle of fags. That's what it was.
And that's the gun supporting folk.
It was like the John Brown shooting club of gun folk. It was like the center left douchetards.
Those guys are scary because they're hardcore communists and they also don't know anything about guns.
Mm.
I think I've heard of Redneck Revolt. I think that they're like real socialists that support guns and they like know what they're doing.
Side note, the funniest thing of dumb people with the Confederate flag on Facebook, which I don't have a problem with the Confederate flag at all, other than the fact that you lost and you sided with the British in the Confederate War. They were shooting at us with Enfields, and everyone's like, "Oh, America, Confederate flag." I'm like, "No, you were literally shooting at us with Enfields."
Hey, you know what's fun to do is wave the losing flag. It's like if your team lost the Super Bowl and you went to Africa, stole the shirt from those people, and then wore it.
You mean
around.
Haiti?
Thanks, Clintons.
But anyway, I love seeing that, and it ends up being that the dude, and it's always a dude. You don't see women with the Confederate flag. The dude works for a union, and it's like you are an idiot.
Well,
You are paying dues to a union that helps grow government.
Well, traditionally speaking,
There's nothing rebel about that.
racist people like the Confederate flag and racist people are Democrats. So they kind of merge well.
That makes a lot of sense now that you think about it.
Boy, I hate them black folks. Let's go vote. Let's go vote for Wilson, Woodrow Wilson.
And FDR.
I actually don't know what his party was, but I'm just guessing that he was a Democrat because he hated black people and he got us into World War I. And he signed the Federal Reserve Act in 1913. So that guy can eat a dick.
Yes.
That's like I hate everything about him. I don't even like his name. 2 W's. That's quadra U's.
Woodrow Wilson. Oh, shocker. He was a lawyer.
Because if this world needs anything, it's more lawyers.
Political party. Democratic.
Ooh, wow. Would have never fucking guessed that shit. He campaigned on not getting into the war in France. Anyway.
I bet he used children to push his agenda too, like a socialist dick.
I actually think that they never paid a lot of those veterans for fucking going to World War One.
Probably.
They had to march on Washington for their money, and I don't think they ever got it.
That's why the GI Bill was launched in World War II, because there was whisperings of veterans coming back and not getting paid. Bingeable. Having multiple episodes or parts that can be watched in rapid succession. Adjective. Predictive, as in predictive text of relating to or usable or valuable for prediction. Adjective.
So that's just like a different version of the word predictive,
I guess.
Do you think that that's like terrible example, irregardless, where there's like a word that didn't used to mean the same thing, but it's used so much that
irregardless was supposed to be an end to a regardless statement.
I looked that up and I cannot find any example of anyone saying
You
that.
have to read a textbook, and it's not worth your time. I remember that from a literature textbook.
Unfortunately, I read the whole Wikipedia article, which who would have thought is garbage?
Right? And then you get the references, and you find the true heaping pile of landfill. Haptics, noun. The use or of electronically or mechanically generated movement that a user experiences through a sense of touch as part of an interface, such as on a gaming console or a smartphone. Haptic feedback on your phone. When you hit a button, it buzzes. Haptics.
I guess you got to call it something.
I mean, haptic feedback's been a thing before this list came out, so I don't know why they're 10 years behind it.
Well,
There's
septic feedback
haptic,
is an entirely different issue.
There's haptic feedback in the 80s. Speaking of septic feedback, force quit, verb. To force an unresponsive computer program to shut down. Force quit, that's...
Rage quit is what you should use.
Force quit is not a thing. What is the execution called when you end task? You're ending a task or ending a process. There's two different things.
I'm just guessing. I think force quit, if I remember correctly, is what Mac has.
Oh, Macintosh.
Mac.
Speaking of a gaggle of faggots.
Yeah, I've got a Macintosh sitting over there that fucking barely works. I replaced the hard drive in it, and because it just stopped working.
Did you wave a magnet over it? That'll do it.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. It made it 30 times better because it stopped working. It was
Steve Jobs is a douche.
It was making a clicking noise. That's a classic sign of a hard drive going bad.
Yep.
And so I replaced it, and the clicking noise is gone, but it still fucking shuts off randomly on me. So I have a brand new Mac, basically, with a new hard drive and everything, but the rest of it's just...
Lit, fam.
I'm just waiting till I can get some thermite made and just burn a hole through it.
Airplane mode.
Airplane mode's in there?
This is a list from 2018, and airplane mode just became a thing.
Is this like a guide for old people? What is this?
This is a boomer list, is what this is. An operating mode for an electronic device, such as mobile phone, in which the device does not connect or wireless networks and cannot send or receive communications, blah, blah, blah. We know what airplane mode is. Instagram. 8 years after its inception, it's finally in a dictionary.
It's like a telegram, but for fags.
Mike Papaculo on Instagram. Biohacking. Noun. Biological experimentation as by gene editing or the use of drugs or implants. So tit implants is biohacking.
Tit implants?
Because
the first thing I thought of...
And a Fortnite ad, of course.
Every time I hear biohacking, I hear people doing microdosing, which I don't know. I would really like to try it, but
mushrooms are cool, man.
I've heard like people in Silicon Valley.
As soon it's silicon, not silicone, titty boy.
I was still thinking about titties.
Ever since the Mushroom Man went on Joe Rogan's podcast, I've wanted to do mushrooms.
I've never done them. But I would like to try it. I've heard good things.
I've heard nothing but good things from Joe Rogan's podcast.
That Paul Stamets guy was just I mean, literally, it's one of those podcasts that you just watch and you're like,
Oh
I'm
my-
stopping everything and studying mushrooms. These are amazing. Let's
Yeah,
do it.
right. I want to see aliens.
Like, it's, God, it's
Okay,
crazy.
anyway, biological experimentation as by gene editing or use of drugs or implants done to improve qualities or capabilities of a living organism, especially by individuals and groups outside of traditional medical scientific research environment.
Hey, kids, we're Monsanto. We're about to biohack this corn into some better tasting corn syrup.
Fintech, noun, products and companies that employ newly developed digital and online technologies in the banking and financial services industries. Fintech. Financial
hey, kids,
technologies.
We're Monsanto. We're finteching this fidget spinner into the next area, lit fam.
Oh my God. Marg.
Gay.
A margarita. Wow.
This is literally like if aliens were trying to come back and they're like, they drink as a marg. This is not in the dictionary.
I don't think you're ready for the next one.
I'm pretty angry right now.
Fave. Favorite.
Oh wow.
Also noun. Wait for it. Adorbs. Adjective.
Ooh, that sent a infuriating boner right to my pants.
It gets worse. This one I've been using since circa 2012 to refer to idiots that join your lobby
Hold
and
on a
are
second.
bad at video games. Also referred to as BK Scrandies.
BK Scrandies?
It's like a McDonald's random, but worse.
What the? I have no
They have
idea.
Walmart connections.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about right now.
Randos. Fucking
Randos.
randos. When some dude pops into your lobby, you have a squad of people, and you have to pick up a rando because you need 6 people to play Search and Destroy. You're playing with a BK Scrandy.
BK Scrandies.
See also McDonald's random. Playing on a Walmart connection, so he's constantly lagging.
It's my break, dude. Come on.
According to Merriam-Webster, this often disparaging slang means a random person, a person who is not known or recognizable, or whose appearance, as in a conversation or narrative, seems unprompted or unwelcome. See also BK Scrandy.
That's not on there.
Guac. Guacamole. It's a noun.
Fucking Merriam-Webster is like, it's literally like your parents. Like, something is super popular, like a Bruno Mars song circa 2014.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, a year and a half later, you hear your dad listening to it, and you're like, it's like, isn't this song really good? I'm like,
Or like your parents just found Eminem 2018.
what? Your
Mom-
parents listen to Eminem?
Palm
Like,
sweaty, mom's linguine.
are you making a joke, or does your mom listen to Eminem?
That's the joke.
Mom spaghetti.
Iftar, a meal taken by Muslims at sundown to break the daily
They already
fast
knew that.
during Ramadan.
Yeah, not much of a fast if you can eat when the sun's down. Hey, let's fast, but, only when the sun's up.
Gokujang, a spicy paste used in Korean cuisine that is made from red chili peppers, glutinous rice, and fermented soybeans. Ooh,
Gross gluten. Gross.
Fermented. Have you ever had stinky tofu? Fermented bean curd is like the durian of soy.
What is up with people? Why are delicacies always smell like butthole?
Fermentation makes stuff taste better, I guess, because beer? Question mark.
I think old people's taste buds.
Surströmming. Dude, we should eat.
We should eat some
surströmming.
I was gonna say,
Because
not in my apartment.
pickled herring is delicious.
Oh, I fucking love pickled herring.
Surströmming has to be. There has to be some sort of appeal. We're both
both gonna eat.
Northlanders. Like we have to like that.
I'm from the northern, closer to the Alps of Italy and probably England. I'm probably English and.
But you're also a Swede.
Oh yeah, I think I'm probably like 25 to 40% Swedish.
That's something we should also do is do a 23andMe on YouTube just to see how goofy our genetics are because as far as back as my family tree goes, great-great-grandparents on both sides, we are all fucking Rhinelanders and Prussian. We are just straight up German clan, baby.
Nothing to be ashamed of there.
Ich bin Deutschler.
Da.
Das ist gut. Mise in place.
Misa in place.
A
Please
cul-
tell me.
It might be mise, but with N in it, I'm pronouncing it like you would in Latin, is mise in place. Mise in place. MISEENPLACE.
Is in place, bitch.
Mise in place. Mise en place. Mise en place. A culinary process in which ingredients are prepared and organized. I don't know anything about cooking, so
Mince plate.
no, it's not mince plate. It's MISEENPLACE. Hophead. Originally a slang word for a drug addict.
Beer lover.
Dating back to 1883. This word today means a beer enthusiast.
That boy down there's a hophead if I've ever seen the likes
I
of him.
am a clean teetotaler. I do not divulge in the devil's liquids.
I will not
the
board
devil's libations, if I do say so.
board a train with no hopheads upon it.
Well, scurry my cattle, will ya? I just made that up. I don't know what that means.
Is that you, John Wayne? Is this me? Who the fuck said that?
If you ever had the pleasure of watching Whose Line Is It Anyway growing up, you just envisioned Ryan Stiles doing his John Wayne walk and are crying inside. I tell you what, Pilgrim, watching Ryan Stiles stumble around like John Wayne is the funniest fucking thing. All right, anyway, zoodle.
Fuck you.
A long, thin strip of zucchini that resembles a string or narrow ribbon of pasta.
Like a noodle.
By
like
the Italians.
zucchini noodle. You could have said zucchini noodle.
Now it's a zoodle, so now I have to explain it, because now I'm interesting.
We don't have to eat all that carbs. We can just make it a zucchini that's healthy, and then we'll wash it down with
A 2 liter of Coca-Cola.
No, Pepsi.
Oh,
Hangry. Adjective.
is that people that want to hang themselves but they're too tired to do it? Because that feels like me right now.
Irritable or angry because of hunger.
That's a real thing.
A mocktail. A usually iced drink made with any of the various ingredients such as juice, herbs, and soda water.
You have to really pronounce the C because it sounded like you said juice.
I did say juice. But without alcohol. A non-alcohol. Oh, a mocktail. I get it now. That's horrible. It's a Shirley Temple, but lame.
No, it's called a virgin and then in place your
Right.
Shirley Temple's rock.
You're not wrong. Latin X?
Latinx.
Latinx?
They're trying to take the gender out of their language. I'm not kidding. So you're not Latino or Latina, depending if you're a boy or a girl.
That's really fucking dumb.
Latinx, and I've only ever heard white people say it.
White people are destroying the Western world.
White liberals are the only person with an out-group bias, as in they like have a bias against themselves, and they're the only group of people that have that. Like black liberals have an in-group bias. They support black people. You know what I'm saying?
Black
right?
Lives Matter, yeah. That's super ultra mega
Which
gay.
is weird. I just don't understand. Like, it's so much virtue signaling. Is that in there? That should be in there.
Generation Z, the generation of people born between the late 90s and the early
Hey,
2000s.
get that Canadian. I know we're getting closer to Canada, but get that shit out of here.
I actually say that because of CZ, because CZ, the Czechoslovakian, the manufacturer in Czechoslovakia.
Czechoslovakian.
I don't remember what CZ stands for. It's some goofy Czech phrase. And
It's probably like something weird, like toaster strudel.
Tent City's the last one.
Is it San Francisco?
San Diego shithole. A collective. They're everything in L.A., San Diego, San Francisco. They're all fucked. A collection of mini tents set up in an area to provide usually temporary shelter. No, it's not temporary anymore. As for displaced or homeless people, no, it's just all of Southern California because it's all a shithole, literally.
Remember when Rudy Giuliani just had a bunch of them killed? Like,
He really cleaned up New York.
which, I mean,
Got rid of the hookers, the homeless people. It was awesome.
it's too bad that. Never mind. I'm not saying things on video or audio. To to be thrown back in my face. There's already cameras at work. They're gonna catch me doing some.
Why does he have a can of beans in his desk?
You walk like a pregnant 30-year-old woman. Could you quit swinging your hips so just vagrantly? I'm sorry. There's sass built in. You knew this hired me on. You should have checked the video before you hired me.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, so that was an interesting learning experience. I don't know if it was positive or negative or simply enlightening for folks out there, but that was essentially a list of Generation X/boomers making words into a organized fashion for all to not enjoy because Merriam-Webster's website is dog shit.
That was aggressively neutral. That's the stance I'm taking.
Hello, my name is Bob Saget. I don't have an opinion on anything. Just give me an
I have no opinion either way.
The internet is trash, and liberals can inhale my dong.
Don't invite them to do it, okay? They're going to show up in your house like rats crawling in around looking for that dick.
That's the only action they'll ever get.
All right, suck it up, boys.